Greetings, I'm Free678. Welcome to my channel. The subject for this video is showcasing the controls I use and showing how to set up controls. So hopefully for new players it'll start you off on the right path, and for veteran players I've been playing air realistic and want to get into tanks. Hopefully this will kind of give you an idea how to set up your controls. The platform I'm using is the PS4, so everything will be in with PlayStation. If you're on Xbox, just compensate for the different symbols. And yeah, get on into this. Whenever you're setting up your controls, there are two things you gotta definitely make sure you want to do. They gotta be simple and easy to remember. If you're able to accomplish that, you definitely will have less incidences of you fumbling with your controller, doing Naruto hand signs, and inadvertently wasting time that could be used to line up shots or get into a better tactical position, and inadvertently probably give enough time for the enemy to line up a good shot and eliminate you. So, to get on into this, get in the top left hand corner. That's where the menu is. You want to click on that. Controls is right here. And if you're new to WarThunder, this is the menu you'll usually be met with. This is where I'm currently set at for sensitivities. I usually try to keep it around 35. You can change the sensitivities for each different category: aircraft, tanks, naval, and helicopters. But the multiplier doesn't deviate that far as much as I would like. I wish Gaijin had it set up to where this is different for each category. Same thing with the gunner view sensitivity. I wish they had one set up for aircraft and then one for helicopters. Because the one for helicopters, I would like it to be kind of medium. And the gunner sensitivity view for aircraft, granted the gunner I would like it to be medium also, but whenever I'm using GBUs and guided bombs, I would like that to be low. So, yeah. Set up your sensitivities. I got mine set to 35. If you want to reset your controls, if you're ever curious about that, that's what this is down here. The main reason why I'll be clicking on this is, if you're new to the game, this window is extremely useful. It's got some really good information here for you if you're brand new to the game. Granted, you click on this is like the default controls, but this is junk. This is just really bad. But at least it's there. What we're mainly doing is controls for tanks. Make sure it's on simplified. If you're on for consoles, don't do simulator. That's for advanced controls. And select layout. And you look down here. This is what you want to click. Advanced controls. And this is where you'll actually be changing your entire control set. There's a couple things I'll be going over here before I load up my controls to speed things along. One of the things is that when you're resetting up controls, we'll just delete all the main caliber ones and set these up real quick. Now if you notice, this has a button in front of it. The reason why is because that makes this into a sub-command. I consider this primary command, this is a sub-command. Primary command is basically just a single button assigned to the command, and a sub-command has a button in front of the main primary command, so that it's separated. The reason why is because if I had that assigned as R2 plus X, it would activate the main caliber gun while you're trying to activate the secondary guns. You definitely want to keep these separate because on some vehicles they use different munitions for each setup. Like for instance, the LAV AAA for America has rockets, the main chain gun caliber, and anti-air. Anti-air is set to special, The rockets are secondary, and the main gun is R2, main caliber. If you have secondary and main caliber onto the same thing, if you don't know, the rockets are angled differently from the main gun, so you'll just be basically wasting either your main gun or you'll be wasting your rockets while shooting. So definitely make sure to separate these. This right here is a pretty good separation. I think this is pretty standard. It's not too bad, it's pretty comfortable. So that is something to be aware of. For sensitivities, like I mentioned earlier, you come down here to camera control, and this is where this stuff is located. Mainly, tank aiming is the area you want to be messing with. View in battle is basically is for whenever you want to look around without moving the turret. You don't want to mess with these. This, if you want to increase the movement, this is left and right, this is up and down. You click on it, it opens up this window right here. The multiplier is what you want to be messing with if you want to increase sensitivity or just decrease it. Now for me, I barely notice anything whenever I increase it, unless I go all the way up. And whenever I go down though, I do notice a difference the entire way. If you have any like problems with your joysticks where like they kind of drift or they do anything like kind of wacky, you want to make sure to increase the dead zone. WarThunder is a PC game first, so it definitely doesn't have anything that compensates for bad controllers, which I have played for many years with bad controllers. I'm even playing with one right now. Whenever you enter these windows and say you don't do anything and you just want to exit, you just want to look at something, this window pops up. Doesn't matter if you hit OK or if you go in the top right hand corner and hit the close button. I don't know why it is like that. I don't like it. I wish I could just close it out and not have to deal with this window. But to explain this window, replace basically would, if you sign a key binding, and that key binding is also assigned to another command, you hit replace, it will delete the command to the other key binding, and it will set it to the one that you're trying to set it to. So in this case, view in battle is the one that's conflicting. If I hit replace, it will delete the key binding for view in battle, x-axis. If I hit add, it will not delete that, and it will assign the key binding to the actual command, which in this case, I didn't do anything. I don't want to delete view in battleground, x-axis is important. I want to hit add. Okay. Whenever you do make actually finish your controls and you do work on your controls, make sure to save. That's what this is down here. This originally wasn't in the game when it first came out, and if you didn't know, whenever an update would come out, it would delete your entire control set. So you would wake up, new update would drop, you're all excited, you would log on, immediately hop into a match, and then come to find out all your key bindings are different. So definitely do make sure to save these. Label them if you want. There are a few issues whenever updates do drop, to where, like for instance, all the guns, how they were separated. Sometimes the game will have it to where even if you have a sub-command, it will still activate both of them. So, it does happen sometimes, but it doesn't happen very much anymore. Alright, so I'll go on down to what I changed, what I added in. For movement here, the only thing I changed was the turn on and off engine. It's really important to have this because sound discipline is a big thing in WarThunder. As much as you may think your engine is idling and it's not that loud, whenever you're getting close proximity with an enemy, you think your engine, the enemy's engine is loud and he can't hear you. But the thing is the sound still changes slightly enough to where you can hear if there's someone around a corner or something. Granted, it's not much if you're not moving around and it's idling. Well, granted, with some vehicles, even your idle's loud, but for the most part, it is fairly quiet. You will catch people off guard if they, are listening to music or they got something else going on. For weaponry, standard. It's definitely a good setup. It keeps things separate. and it's easy to understand. It may take a little bit to click in, like what it is, but after it clicks in, it sticks in. Scrolling down to smoke grenades. I did assign tracker to L3, so do be aware if you do use these key bindings. If you did hit X on an aircraft, you have it selected, and you hit L3, and you want to activate smoke grenades, the reticle will move towards the aircraft. It will just snap to it. And a lot of vehicles, the smoke pops are located on the turret, so you may inadvertently change your entire view away from the target that's killing you or the one you want to hide from, and you may inadvertently pop the smoke either in the wrong direction or in a way to where it puts you at a massive disadvantage and him at an advantage. So do be aware of that. Smoke screen, same thing. I just assigned it to square to make it kind of uniform and easy to remember. Next shell type is really important. The down miscellaneous, you have all those various shell types. Just delete those. This is all you need. The way it's set up is that I have it set up like this because I don't take my thumb off the movement whenever I'm changing my shell. I just move the controller into my thumb. If you kind of understand what I mean by that. Weapon lock's pretty easy. Nothing really conflicts with it. Like I said, X is non-evasive. So it's a very good command to use. Turn radar on and off, very important to have for a few reasons. There are some vehicles where the radar is massive and it's just like hanging up in the air like a telephone pole, letting everyone know where you are whenever you're behind a hill. I'll show you which one. The ZA-35 is a good example. But another thing is about it in top tier, some aircraft will have a radar, and it will inform them if there's AAA on the ground if you have the radar active. But if you have it turned off, it doesn't inform them. So that's something to be aware of. The vehicle in question I'm talking about is in Great Britain, and it's ZA-35 right here. Wait for it to load in. As you can see, it's got a massive radar that's all the way the heck up here. Another thing that sucks about this radar is that if someone uses an HE shell, you can overpressure and kill the AAA. So you can't really hide behind hills with it. You can hide behind a mountain or a building. Well, a tall enough building. There are some buildings that you can't hide behind. But yeah, definitely do be aware of that. Plus on top of that, if you even if the radar is small, it is spinning, so it's moving pixels. And for me, sometimes tank camouflages and shells will blend in with like foliage and everything, but it's the moving radar is what gives them away to me. I'll just see like the pixels kind of slightly changing colors or moving around, and that's what will kind of give it away. Back to controls. Turn on and off is important. For lock radar, RST target on, I assigned it the same as weapon lock. They don't really conflict with one another, they kind of work together. Night vision, even if you don't play night matches or you don't have that turned on, you still want that key binding. The reason why is because thermals. Fantastic to use whenever you're wanting to look out in an area to see if there's an enemy there that you can't see. Like in a forest, or if you're in the Sinai Desert, to tell the difference between a bush and a tank. It's really useful for that. Target acquisition is mainly what I use it for. For binoculars, I do change it to square and triangle. Do be aware if you hold down square and you hit triangle, and you let off square, and you still have triangle pressed, it will change your view back to the normal view. You want to make sure to hold down square, hit triangle, and then let off triangle. That way you'll stay in binocular view. Binoculars don't really have zoom, so that's what square is, and it doesn't, so it won't really conflict with anything. Tracker, as I said, is L3. That's the movement joystick, and I basically wanted that because most of the time whenever I'm tracking an aircraft, I'm not moving around. If I do want to move around, I don't want to be tracking. So that's the reason why I assigned it to L3. Nothing for suspension. There are vehicles that do have suspensions that you can use. If you looked up the history on the reason why some tanks have suspension, it's because the nations are usually fighting in mountainous areas. Like India and Korea, their vehicles have suspensions on them. And they're designed to basically go to the edge of a cliff and raise their suspension in the back so they can angle down into the valleys. Giving them an extra like 10% or 5% gun depression. Under miscellaneous, you want to delete all the key bindings for types of shells. Don't mess with the ground vehicle and fire extinguisher key binding. For tow cable, you want to have one because multifunction menu is slow, and sometimes you have to pull people out immediately, so it's good to have a key binding for that. Active scouting, I changed it to X plus L1. L1 plus X is just dumb. I mean, I have L1 assigned to machine guns, so you would basically fire your machine guns every time you try spotting someone. This way, if you hold down X and you tap L1, you'll just scout. Rangefinder is R3. Like I said, it's non-evasive. If you're in third-person view and you have laser rangefinder and you have your reticle pointed out at an object really far away, and you tap R3, it will sight into that. But if you're playing top tier and you got laser rangefinders, most of the time you will rangefinder first before you fire, unless you know the distance yourself. Entrenching tool is kind of a novelty, but if you learn how to use it, I've been basically figuring it out myself. There's certain hills you can use it on where you can actually like dig in really nice fighting, defensive fighting positions, DFPs. The downside though is that if your vehicle doesn't have a strong mantlet, which I've been playing in the United States with the Abrams, and I was sadly to find out that the Abrams turret, as much as people say it's really strong, is extremely easy to pin. It's got massive weak spots, so it's useful to some degree, but it's not that useful for when it comes to America. For Russia, though, on the other hand, yeah, T90, T80s, the ones that got the scoops on it, you can almost make yourself invincible almost with ERA. So that's everything you want to change really in this section. The next section you want to go to is common. And the key bindings you want to set up for in here is you want to change your multifunction menu. I set it up like this because, well, it's not technically ease of use, but most of the time whenever I'm using the multifunction menu, I am not moving around, or I'm not really doing anything. So it's kind of it takes your thumbs off the joysticks, but it's a quick maneuver. Here's your chats, team, squad, general, and just chat in general. Be able to use that to, you know, say toxic things, fight with one another, or share tactical stuff, or ask someone what the heck they're doing. Set target for squad, this is really important. The reason why is because you're playing with someone, or if you're just playing by yourself, you're assigned with a random person. You can lay down a yellow marker that only you and that person can see. Whenever it first came out, there was a glitch to where everyone could see it. I love that because a lot of times teammates won't look at your pings. You'll be pinging on the minimap over and over again. I'll ping in the same location like 3 times before I stop pinging usually. Or sometimes I'll just ping only once. But most teammates, they won't even bother to even look at that darn thing. So a giant yellow marker was definitely way more useful than a ping. I always kind of wish that whenever you pinged on the map, on the mini-map, there actually was a symbol that popped up. Especially when it comes to aircraft, because a lot of times whenever I'm asking people, it's like, hey, where should I bomb? And they ping on the map, and I don't see that marker anywhere. I also wish it was kind of more noticeable. But yeah, that's about the only thing you want to change over here. So hopefully me explaining all this and showing you how my controls are set up kind of puts you on the right path. Or maybe if you're curious on playing tanks, it'll help you out in getting into it. More fun to roast me in the comments if you think some of the key bindings are stupid, or that I don't have something assigned, like for instance short break. I definitely don't use short break, even though it can be useful. What it is basically if you're driving forwards, you're like using cruise control. You see an enemy and you have to stop to shoot. You hit the basically sign the key binding of that. You activated it. It's almost as if like your driver pulls on the handbrake, and whenever you fire, then the vehicle resumes movement. But I don't like that because most of the time I'll fire and then I want to sit there and line up another shot, but unfortunately the vehicle starts moving and just kind of like messes everything up. Yep. Well, time to scroll on down, point things out that I changed, and then yeah, that'll be the end of the video. So turn on and off engine, down and triangle. Very important to have for sound. Main calibers, as you can see, R2 for main. Secondary, X plus R2. Machine guns, L1. Special guns, X plus L2. Definitely good to keep those separate. Smoke grenades and smoke screening. Do remember, yeah, smoke grenades cannot be seen through thermals usually, but smoke screening you can see through with thermals. Do be warned. Usually. I say usually. Next shell type, definitely want to assign this. Weapon lock, X plus square. Search radar on and off, definitely want to have this for whenever you want to put your radar away. Or put the waffle iron down. Same thing with the lock on, IRC target on, X plus square. Night vision, you definitely want to have this, so down plus circle. Binoculars for camera, definitely want to change it to square and triangle. Tracker, you definitely want to assign that to L3. I mainly have it set to L3 because of how much easier it is for me to track a vehicle and shoot down an aircraft with the way it is. As much as console players complain about it, I understand for arcade. I don't think it should be able to lock on to ground vehicles, but I'm fine with it locking onto air vehicles. The reason why is because on mouse and keyboard, it's a lot easier to change trajectories with your mouse, whereas on console, it is harder to compensate for changed trajectories with the controller. It's actually almost next to impossible. You can get really good at doing it, but for the most part, you're still maybe about 20% success rate, while a mouse and keyboard will be about around 80 to 95% success rate. So do be aware of that. Make sure the controller aim acceleration is 100%, 0% delay. Nothing on suspension. Ground vehicle, fire extinguisher, no reason to change that. Delete those first type shells. Tow cable, definitely make sure I have that. Active scouting, change that around. Rangefinder, definitely make sure to put that at R3. And entrenching tool if you want to give that a go. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I mean, those are the controls that I'm using on for me. So if you're having problems or you're getting confused on what you should do for setting up controls, hopefully this helps you out. If you have any questions, I stream Thursdays through Sundays. I do WarThunder basically Thursday and Friday, and on Saturday I do, well, I'm going to start doing Enlisted in the mornings, WarThunder in the evenings. And Sundays I just play any game that's other than WarThunder or any Gaijin game really. Right now currently it's Monster Hunter Rise in the morning and Octopath Traveler for the evening. The only way that would change is if there's an event going on. Yep. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I'll say good luck to you, happy hunting, try to have fun, and yeah, take it easy. Bye.